came back from overseas, and I thought I had a cold, but it wasn't a cold. I ended up in the emergency room, and they said, you have pneumonia. And I go home with pneumonia, and pneumonia is nothing to play with, y'all. It is very serious. And I was on antibiotics for a week. The antibiotics weren't working. And then I went back for another CT scan, and they said, it's actually worse. You should see a lung specialist. So I go into the lung specialist. This is the moment. I love the lung specialist. Dr. K, you're fabulous. But I go in, and I can see him. I said, look, you know, I've got a little rattling. I went back in a week, and I was better. But don't play with it, and get your flu shots and get your pneumonia shots. It's nothing to play with. It takes people out. So I'm doing 9 cities starting in January for wellness, health, well-being. You go to Ellen's website, you can see I'm going to be in a city near you.
That's fantastic. Yeah, so you're just talking about wellness.
Yeah, well, not just talking about it, but trying to motivate people to take care of themselves and to not get sick with pneumonia and to really transform their life, because it's called 2020 Vision, your life in focus.
So my entire childhood, I never had a vaccination, never had any medicine.
I'm honored to stand here today with dedicated colleagues from within the Department of Justice as well as beyond it to announce a historic settlement with Pfizer Incorporated, a pharmaceutical manufacturer, and its subsidiary Pharmacia and Upjohn company, arising out of civil and criminal allegations relating to Pfizer's allegedly illegal promotion of various drugs, most notably Bextra. Pfizer has agreed to pay $2.3 billion, the largest healthcare fraud settlement in the history of the Department of Justice. Within that $2.3 billion is a criminal fine of $1.195 billion, which makes it the largest criminal fine in history.
My law firm represents victims who suffered serious complications from using the drug Xeljanz. Xeljanz was developed by the big pharma company Pfizer, and it was developed to treat rheumatoid arthritis. But tragically, it's become clear that the drug is causing some very serious side effects and complications. These include serious infections, tearing and perforation of the stomach, pulmonary embolism, liver damage, and cancer.
These pharmaceutical companies are corrupt, that they're greedy, that they commit fraud, that they're homicidal. 4 companies that make all 72 of the vaccines that are currently mandated for our children. Every one of them is a convicted felon. Somehow the Democrats have convinced themselves that yes, they lie about everything else, but they found Jesus when it comes to vaccines, and they're not going to lie about that.
I'm going to let you, I said I was going to let you say it because I said when you got home, you would be crazed that you didn't say it.
Thank you so much. I have to refute what the doctor said vehemently. The vaccine connection has not been refuted at all. In fact, we give 37 vaccines to babies under the age of 18 months. Nobody has shown that that's safe, a wise idea, the multiple vaccines at once. We have a national epidemic going on today, and I really want to stress that. Doctors really need to be more aware.
When he was diagnosed in 1999, 1 in 3,000 children were diagnosed on the spectrum. Today, 1 in 94 boys.
Wow.
I'm already getting...
Yeah.
I promise, sir.
You're fine.
How many times have I been on a show? I've never been so nervous in my life.
It's okay.
This is a big deal for me, Oprah.
Yeah, I understand.
It is really, if I had the opportunity when Rodney and I got this diagnosis to have gotten my welcome to autism packet and had somebody like Jenny with a book, a guide, something, anything, it would have been really great.
With hope.
With hope. Because I had a developmental pediatrician tell me, your son will never do this, he will never say he loves you, he will never do that. So it was, it's a very interesting ride.
But obviously, you also fought back. You and Rodney also fought back.
There are 15,000 deaths a year in this country from multi-resistant bacteria. The miracle has become a nightmare. And exactly the same thing is happening with vaccines. If you look at pneumococcus, there is an escape mutant of the pneumococcal vaccine that has come about because of the vaccine. And so what we've done is we've gone from Prevnar 7 to Prevnar 13 because the organism has continued to develop vaccine-resistant serotypes. And it's not a process that man can keep up with. There will come a time when they just say, okay, The organism's beaten us, and we can't do it. And the other ecological effect of this is when you look at the reduction in pneumococcal disease in children following the initial introduction of the vaccine, there was a reciprocal increase in severe pulmonary infections from the same serotype in adults, empyema, often a fatal pulmonary infection. And so the change in the population microbiome, the change in the organism in the child, had a knock-on effect in the adult population. If you change things, if you try and outwit nature, nature will exact a very, very high price. And there will come a time when the industry says, no more, okay? We can't do this anymore, we can't keep up, because the organism has outwitted us.